All right, let's get right into it. If you're driving a Ford and that dreaded check engine light just popped on with a P1554 code, you've come to the right place. We're going to decode exactly what your car is trying to tell you, step by step.
You know that feeling, right? The light comes on and your heart sinks a little. Well, don't worry, that light is just your car's way of sending a message, and this one points us straight to the fuel system. So let's break down what P1554 is all about and how you can start figuring it out.
So what is it? Simply put, P1554 is a code that says there's a problem with the electrical circuit for the fuel injector on cylinder number 4. Think of it this way. Your car's computer has a set of rules, these calibrated limits, for how that injector should behave, and right now, it's not playing by those rules.
Now don't think of this as just some random warning. This code is a very specific clue. Your car's brain has already done half the work by narrowing down the problem area for us. Now it's our turn to put on our detective hats and find the real root cause.
And you definitely don't want to ignore this one. A funky injector circuit can mess with your engine's performance, kill your gas mileage, and even affect your emissions. So getting to the bottom of this is absolutely key to keeping your ride smooth, safe, and reliable.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, we're going to tackle this with a really clear, systematic checklist. I want you to think of these as the 5 main suspects we need to investigate to figure out what's triggering that P1554 code.
Here's our lineup. First, we could have an open in the main power circuit. Second, that circuit could be shorted to ground. Third, the injector's return circuit might be open. Fourth, that same return line might be shorted to voltage. And finally, if it's none of those, the fuel injector itself might just be bad. Let's dig into each one.
Think of this table as our roadmap for the whole process. It's basically a cheat sheet that connects every potential problem directly to its solution. Go ahead and burn this image into your mind because we're about to walk through each and every row.
All right, let's start our investigation where most of these problems hide, in the wiring. The first 4 suspects on our list are all about electrical faults. So let's grab our virtual multimeter and get to chasing down these circuits.
First up, an open circuit. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. Imagine a bridge is out on a highway. The cars just can't get across. An open circuit is like a break in the wire. Maybe it frayed from vibration or just got old. Whatever the reason, the electricity can't finish its trip to the injector.
So the solution is to get in there and really inspect the wiring harness and all the connectors going to that cylinder 4 injector. You're hunting for any obvious breaks, nasty corrosion, or any plugs that have just worked themselves loose.
Okay, suspect number 2 is a short to ground. In this case, the power is flowing, but it's found a shortcut it was never supposed to take. Instead of going to the injector, a wire's insulation might be damaged and touching the metal engine blocker frame, letting the electricity escape and go straight to ground.
This right here shows the key difference. An open circuit is like a dead end. The power just stops. A short to ground is a wrong turn. The power goes somewhere it shouldn't. Getting that difference is super important for finding the real problem.
Now, for our third suspect, that INJ4TN just stands for the injector's return circuit. You got to remember, electricity works in a loop. It needs a path to the injector, and it needs a path back. If that return path is broken, the loop is incomplete, and the computer immediately flags this code.
So how do you find this one? You'll use a multimeter to test the resistance of that return circuit. A good, healthy wire should have almost 0 resistance. If you get a really high reading or an infinite one, boom! That confirms the wire is broken somewhere and you've found your open circuit.
Suspect number 4 is a little trickier. It's a short to voltage on the return circuit. This means that return wire, which is supposed to be a quiet path back, is accidentally getting zapped with power from another wire. This usually happens when insulation gets damaged inside a wiring harness and 2 wires touch. To find this, you'll test for voltage on that return line. The key here is that you're looking for any voltage that just shouldn't be there. The source material notes that a lower than expected voltage reading can point to this kind of short. Essentially, any stray voltage is a red flag that you've got a short that needs to be tracked down and fixed.
So let's say you've gone through all 4 of those wiring checks and everything looks perfect. The wires are good, the connections are solid. What's next? Well, it's time to shift our focus from the journey to the destination itself, the fuel injector. And here we are, our final suspect. After you've ruled out all the possible wiring problems, the issue might just be the fuel injector itself. It's a part with moving pieces and electrical coils, and over time it can wear out, get clogged, or just fail internally, leading to things like a rough idle or an engine misfire.
And if you've confirmed that the injector is the culprit, the solution is pretty straightforward. You don't really repair these things, you just replace it. A new injector will get your engine running right, and most importantly, clear that pesky code for good.
And there we have it. We just went from a confusing, blinking light on the dash to a clear, actionable plan. You now know exactly what that P1554 code means and the 5 distinct things you need to look for to solve it.
So what's the big takeaway? It's this 5-step checklist. You always start with the wiring. Check for opens, check for shorts, on both the power side and the return side of the circuit. And if all of that checks out, your final step is to look at the fuel injector itself. By following this logical process, you can turn that frustrating warning light from a source of stress into a problem you can tackle with confidence. So, the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?